Times are a-changin', so how do you as a copywriter keep up? Here are my 4 tips for keeping your content fresh and staying ahead of the curve this year. Hey guys, it's Alex. I am so happy you're here. If you're an entrepreneur, a digital marketer, or a copywriter, be sure to hit subscribe below because every single week I release a new tutorial on marketing, copywriting, and more. But in this video, I'll be sharing what the latest social media and digital marketing trends mean for all you copywriters out there, and what you must do to make sure your marketing messages continue to make an impact. But first things first, if you have not yet watched my video outlining the 4 major trends taking over the internet, be sure to do that first before you watch this video. I'll add a little link to that right up in the corner of this video. Now, if you have already seen it, real quick, here's a recap of what those 4 trends are, as they'll provide some necessary context for what I'll be talking about next. So major marketing trend number 1, video is taking over. 2, hyper-relevant behavior-based content is a must. 3, omni-channel marketing is expected. And 4, voice search is on the rise. All 4 of these marketing trends are powered by huge advancements in artificial intelligence. But good news for all you copywriters, in my opinion, machine learning will never be able to completely match real, relevant, and relatable copy written by a human. At least not anytime in the near future. In fact, I believe now more than ever, businesses must rely on the creativity, empathy, and intuition of copywriters to help them take advantage of these shifting trends and stay afloat in an oversaturated marketplace. Because compelling copy plus cutting-edge strategies and technologies equals exponentially more powerful marketing. So in light of these emerging trends, here are my 4 copywriting tips for staying current and effective. Tip number 1, be authentic and transparent. Authenticity and transparency have always been seen as highly valued in marketing, but now the stakes are higher than ever. Whereas in the past, a consumer may have tolerated inconsistent messaging or a lackluster mission statement in exchange for a good deal, that is simply not the case anymore. With the ease and availability of countless options and alternatives out there, you can no longer afford to hide behind the faceless front that was once the internet. Your customers want to know who you are, what you stand for, and how you do things. Yep, science says 86% of consumers say that authenticity is a key factor in their purchasing decision. 73% of consumers would pay more for a product if the company behind it promises transparency, and a whopping 94% of consumers say they would remain loyal to a brand that provides complete transparency. Your audience is more savvy than they've ever been, and they're also more intolerant of anything that's inconsistent or smells like bull. So when it comes to copywriting, your number 1 job is to create a distinct and memorable brand voice that is congruent throughout all of your marketing touch points, from your ads all the way to your customer service responses. Then you simply just need to be the company your consumer believes you to be. Or in other words, walk the talk no matter what. And when it comes to writing offers, use real scarcity. Explain why products are on sale and for how long. Set clear expectations and honor them. Communicate frequently and authentically, and look to add value first. Showcasing user-generated content, authentic social interactions, and true video testimonials are some great ways you can take advantage of this emerging trend. Now, tip number 2, tell stories. Storytelling has been used since the dawn of time to share information and pass down tradition. And no matter how much technology changes and evolves, stories will always be one of the best ways to create connection, evoke emotion, and inspire action. People will remember your story long after they've forgotten your sales pitch. And in the future, when marketing technologies shift and render some content dead and strategies completely ineffective, your stories will live on. They're like the cockroach of the marketing world. When the internet apocalypse hits, if your business is based on stories, you'll not only survive, but thrive. You feel me? So it's like last weekend, I was at my cousin's wedding, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It happened inside this beautiful white tent that was on this beautiful grassy field with rolling hills, and the sun was shining all day. It was literally the perfect day for a wedding. And then Murphy's Law, just as the best man stands up to give his toast to the groom, the most sinister storm clouds you've ever seen roll in. I'm telling you, the sky went dark and it started pouring. I mean, pouring. And what we didn't realize until this exact moment was that this tent was positioned at the lowest part of the field, and water started filling up this tent from all directions. Speakers were short-circuiting, gifts were getting wet. At one point, I looked over at the bar and the tip jar was actually full of water. You know what happened? The best man just kept going. Lightning was flashing through the sky and plates were floating by. Not really, but he did not stop. Sure, he had to talk louder to be heard over the sound of the rain pelting on the top of the tent, but that only made him appear more confident and funny, and people laughed harder at his jokes to accommodate for the booming thunder. And to this day, I think that was the #1 best wedding speech I have ever heard. Pretty good story, right? So what's the funniest wedding story you have? Comment below and let me know. Now here's the other great thing about stories. They allow you to rely less on hypey marketing tactics or pushy sales copy because a good story will sell for you, and you can use it across multiple different marketing channels without having to worry whether or not it'll be compliant. Just imagine if that wedding story was used to sell a speechwriting course. I think it would be pretty effective, don't you? So copywriters, start telling more real, relevant, and relatable stories in your copy. Take the time to learn and master the brand voice you're representing and carry those stories through multiple channels and mediums. All right, tip number 3, answer questions. One major marketing trend this year is voice search. By 2021, over 50% of all searches will be done through digital assistants like Apple's Siri and Amazon's Alexa. Voice search is becoming second nature for anyone looking for a quick answer to something, and this creates a huge opportunity for you if you know how to capitalize on it. Because here's the thing, the way people traditionally conduct a Google search is very different than the way they conduct a voice search. So for example, when you're searching for a restaurant on Google, you might type in best brunch in Los Angeles. But when you use voice search, you change your behavior to ask a question. Like, hey Siri, what restaurant has the best brunch in Los Angeles? Knowing how to formulate your content and copy to appeal to the voice search algorithm is a key factor in using this trend to your advantage. And of course, the best way to do this in your copy is to answer questions. So copywriters, include FAQ sections on your sales pages and write in a natural conversational voice that answers the questions your consumers are asking. And now I want to know, what is the #1 most pressing question you have when it comes to copywriting and marketing? Comment below and let me know, and you just might be featured in my next video. Okay, tip number 4, make your copy personalized and interactive. Marketing is no longer about spraying one marketing message all over the internet to everyone. The future of effective marketing will be sending behavior-based messaging in real time to your subscribers based on their actions, interests, and engagement habits. In fact, internet users are expecting you to know their patterns. They want relevant content 100% of the time, and they're often not very forgiving of blatant, non-personalized marketing. For example, if you send an email to a customer asking them to buy a product that they've already purchased, you're breaking rapport and you're hurting your chances of them buying from you ever again. Unfortunately, this is a really easy mistake to make, as people tend to purchase across different email accounts and browsers and devices, which is why omni-channel and omni-device tracking is so important. But your messaging is just as important. In fact, it's imperative. Increasing personalization in your messaging across all channels can lead to a 500% increase in consumer spending. What? Yeah, so copywriters, as you're writing your sales pages and email sequences and video scripts, take time to consider who is consuming this content and how you might want to adapt these messages for different audience segments. Oftentimes, it's not a complete rewrite that's needed, but rather a quick update of relevant and identifying information. Creating multiple messages for different audiences also allows you to go even deeper into that personalization for the specific reader, which means less generic, widely applicable content that is almost always less effective. Remember, if you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one. And along with audience personalization, you also want to look at platform personalization in your messaging. Given that social media continue to attract record numbers of consumers, it's more important than ever to make sure your copywriting is fully adapted to each platform and channel you're using. A Facebook post and an Instagram caption should be written completely differently because those audiences engage with those platforms differently. Lastly, copy that creates even the slightest bit of interactivity is wildly more effective at attracting and converting consumers. Enhanced engagement among your target audience creates a sense of trust and credibility. So copywriters, start thinking about all the fun ways you can create personalized content that inspires your audience to interact with your brand. Great examples of this include video, live video, quizzes, webinars, or social media posts that encourage commenting and sharing. All right, guys, that's it. That's my video today. Please give me a thumbs up below if you found this video helpful. And if you have not done so yet, make sure to watch my last video on the 4 major marketing trends taking over the internet this year. You can go watch that here and be sure to subscribe. I'll be back next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. Whew, felt like I was getting sweaty. I was like dripping, I think. It's hot in here, it's hot.